So, ultimate chocolate dish, Maria. OK, I'm going for a chocolate baked Alaska.
OK, so I'm going for a chocolate macaroon dish with a basil and orange ganache and a few little extra bits on the side.
Maria kicks off her chocolate extravaganza with her macaroons, which are a meringue-based almond sweet treat sandwiched together with a flavoured ganache.
To me, a match made in heaven, orange and chocolate. So instead of using oranges, I'm using clementines.
Yep.
So I've taken the zest of the clementines
Yep.
and then I've blitzed it to a powder.
Wow. How do you dry that? Just
In the oven.
As an alternative to Maria's clementine powder, you could use orange extract.
This is ground almonds in here, cocoa and icing sugar.
Right.
And now I need to blitz it because I want it to be really fine. So, blitz them.
Yep.
There we go. And then what I've got here, I've got 110 grams of egg whites in total. I'm going to whip these to soft peaks. While these are on, I've got sugar and water, and then when it's 110 degrees, I'm going to pour it in gradually. So in theory, I'm making an Italian meringue.
An Italian meringue is made by gradually combining sugar syrup rather than granulated sugar to egg whites. This produces a more stable meringue. As Maria continues to whisk, the mixture thickens and cools down.
What I'm going to do is take the rest of my egg white and I'm going to mix it in because this is now cool, so I'm not in danger of cooking that.
Maria believes that adding the rest of the egg whites at the very end makes a softer, chewier meringue.
Right.
That's a very, very different way of doing it, Maria. So
I've done a lot of research about macaroons and I've tried every single way. And to me, this one is the ultimate macaroon recipe. So I've got my almond, my clementine, my cocoa. See, that's great, isn't it? Nice consistency. But again, you've put all that air in. You want to be careful here that you don't knock it out.
With a helping hand from Mark, Maria puts her mix into a piping bag and she's ready to pipe her macaroons onto a baking tray lined with baking paper.
If you've got the little top, just dip your finger in cold water or water and just...
This is to ensure that the macaroons have nice, smooth tops.
You need to leave these for a minimum half an hour.
Right.
And then what's happening is we're getting
dries,
that. You need a crust on it.
What's the importance of that crust?
So you get the nice different textures in between.
So that's how you get the crunch?
Yeah, you get the crunch and then the gooiness in the middle.
OK.
The macaroons are now ready for the oven, 140 degrees for 12 minutes. Maria can now turn her attention to the filling. She's boiled together cream, basil leaves and more of her dried clementine zest and left it for 30 minutes to infuse, before bringing back up to the boil.
So then I'm going to pour it over my chocolate and stir, and then that'll be my basil clementine chocolate ganache.
Wonderful.
Ganache is a versatile mixture of chocolate and cream, which can be used as a filling, icing, or as the basis for chocolate truffles. Maria whisks till the chocolate's melted, then the ganache needs to be left to cool at room temperature.
You don't want to put it in the fridge, because otherwise ganache has got to be pipeable.
Yeah.
So I put this in a piping bag so it's malleable.
Yeah.
Maria's macaroons have been cooked and then cooled completely. She's now ready to sandwich them together with the ganache.
And then just pipe round, and then just
That's a lot of filling.
sandwich them together.
Yeah, that's great.
This is my ultimate chocolate macaroon.
Yeah, very good.
There we have it.
With Maria's macaroon assembled, it's time for Mark to make a start on the sponge layers of his chocolate baked Alaska. He starts by whisking 5 whole eggs with sugar until doubled in size. Baked Alaska combines a sponge base, cold ice cream and a flambéed meringue coating. It was a dessert trolley favourite in the 60s and 70s, but has actually been around since the 1800s.
In here are flour and cocoa, which is going to make the chocolatiness of the sponge, OK?
You use a genoise rather than a sponge cake mix, don't you?
Yes, it's lovely and light, and it cooks quickly as well.
A genoise is a light, dry sponge which is soaked in a liquid or syrup to make it moist. Mark now adds his dry ingredients to the whisked eggs.
A gentle stir as opposed to folding.
Yeah.
And as you're getting to the stage where it's nearly all mixed, you add your butter. Melted but room temperature. It goes in there.
The sponge needs to cook in the oven at 180 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes. Mark now makes a start on his ice cream to go with his sponge.
The thing with baked Alaska is you have to have the ice cream quite solid, quite frozen, otherwise it's going to melt and make a mess. But when it gets to the table, when it's been glazed in the meringue, it needs to be nice and soft. So I've made this particular ice cream, which is a very different sort of way of doing ice cream than normal, because it's kind of like a chocolate fudge ice cream.
OK.
In here I've got my chocolate and my butter. We've got our sugar and water boiling in here. So pour the sugar syrup into there, and then we whisk.
Yeah.
Incorporate all that in a slow trickle, and because it's hot,
yeah,
it's going to cook your eggs, OK? So you start slowly.
Mark whisks his eggs together with the sugar syrup until light and fluffy and doubled in size.
Double cream. You don't want to whip it. It's not going to be whipped double cream.
Yeah.
But I'm just using that to mix in.
Well, this is going to be a great ice cream, isn't it?
Finally, he adds the melted butter and chocolate.
So this is a really easy way to make a chocolate ice cream, isn't it?
It's a different ice cream.
Yeah.
You know, it's got a different texture. It's not going to be the same. It's more like a sort of like a frozen-y, marshmallowy kind of
nice
loveliness.
Yeah.
Once the ice cream base is well mixed, it's ready to be frozen. Mark is using an ice cream machine to ensure a perfectly smooth finish.
And now we'll just wait for that to freeze.
That is gorgeous.
Both chefs want to keep the judges sweet. Mark is going for a retro favourite, whilst Maria is putting together a more contemporary chocolate-tasting plate. Which ultimate chocolate dish will impress the judges the most?